And a merry good morning, a merry good afternoon, and a merry good evening to you, the good people of the tube. Hope you're all today up here in grand and all's in your world. I don't know if I can do this seriously, but I'm going to try. This beard is horrible, I'm eating it rapidly. Anyway, get out of my mouth. Welcome to another Q&A Wednesday, everybody. Last Q&A Wednesday before Christmas, so I thought Santa Dave today, why not? I'd like to thank my friend John Joe for the Santa outfit. Cheers, John Joe. I hope you like it. Anyway, moving on. Question 1 today, everybody. Question 1. This beard stinks. Okay, so moving along. Question 1. Moving, Dave. Come on. How does John Frusciante get the electric part sound in the song Desecration Smile? It's been impossible to recreate for me. It sounds like there's a bend, but it doesn't sound right when I bend it or play it straight. I need your help. Okay, so there's a couple of different electric guitar parts in Desecration Smile. So, hang on. I'm not 100% sure which one you mean. So I'll just talk about all the ones I know. There's a harmony guitar part, which is basically two guitars just harmonised. It's as simple as that. But then there's like during the middle section of the song, there's like a high guitar part. It's very clean, ish, as we know. And that, sorry everyone, it's just gross. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, in the middle section of Desecration Smile, there's like a real high guitar part, and that's played using a slide. It's not, he's not bending the string. He's just using a slide. I don't actually have a slide to show you. That's great foresight, Dave. Anyway. Great Bruce Forsyth. Anyway, I'm getting carried away. Yeah, what it is, it's a slide. He's using a slide on the guitar. He's not bending. He's just using a slide on it. So it's like I don't know how to play that bit anymore. But yeah, it's a slide he's using for that middle section. And the other electric guitar section is just a harmony guitar that's kind of like sounds doubled. And it probably was doubled. John doubled everything on stage Arcadium. So yeah, that's what he's doing there. He's just playing slide basically, playing slide guitar on that bit. And the same, that's the other part. He's just distorted. I don't know what he would have used for that. Probably either a DS2 or his electro harmonics, whatever. I don't know. Fuzz pedal or something. I don't really know what he'd have used for the harmony guitar, but that's all that is, and the other one is just a slide guitar. So, I hope that's answered your question. Moving on to question 2 now. Question 2. Okay, so question 2 is, I use a Marshall 100 HDFX for my distorted sound, and a Kustom KG100 HFX for my clean tone. Ideally, I want to run my pedal board into both amps so I can switch between both amps mid-song with some kind of a foot switch. I don't want to run both amps together though, merely switch between them during the songs. Is this possible, and if so, how to go about it? Yeah, that is possible. You need an A-B switch to go between the amplifiers. And all we basically do is you go from your 2 amps, your Marshall and your Kustom, into the A-B switch, and then into your pedal board, and then from your pedal board to your guitar. So go from guitar to your pedal board to the A-B switch, and then split out to your 2 amps, and then basically your pedals will run through any amp. So you need to get an A-B switcher, and there's loads of them out there. So that's what you'll need to do. You need to get an A-B, switch between, so you can switch between the Marshall and the Kustom. And like I say, it needs to go from your guitar to your pedals, and then to the A-B switch. Don't put the A-B switch after your pedal board before your guitar, because it won't switch anything. So yeah, so go from your Marshall and your Kustom straight into the A-B switch, and then from the out of the A-B switch into your pedal board and then to your guitar. And then you'll be able to do that, which is really, really cool. Okay, so that was a really quick answer again. Nerve-wracking, I'm telling you, scary. Anyway, but yeah, that's what you need. You need an A-B switch. Boss do a really good one, Morley do a good one. There's tons. There are tons of A-B switches. ABY switches are really cool as well, because ABY are really cool because you get to run both amps together, or you can pick, which is really, really cool. Okay, so, hope I answered your question. Moving on to question 3 now, everybody. Okay, so, question 3. There's quite a bit to question 3, so let's dive in, shall we? Head first. Okay, so For me, this is the question, sorry. For me, the By the Way guitar tone, Red Hot Chili Peppers' By the Way guitar tone, is probably my favourite John Frusciante tone has had on any album. The basic rhythm guitar tone is almost the same on most tracks, and he seems to have a more harsh attack than the washed out sound of Californication or Stadium Arcadium. Oh, sorry, is a lot more washed out, sorry, in By the Way than it is in Californication and Stadium Arcadium. I know what you mean, yeah, it's a lot more in the background, the guitar, but it's still there. I know you started using a Holy Grail reverb pedal around this time. Do you think during the recording of the basic tracks he just left the Holy Grail on all the time, or is it as a consequence of mixing and production? And could it be possibly the Jubilee is heard more than the Major? Okay, so the By the Way tone, John used his 62 Strat for pretty much everything, according to him. I remember reading an interview at the time, and John said he used his 62 Strat for everything, apart from he used his White Falcon for a guitar solo and Tia. He used his White Falcon on Tia. Other than that, it was always 62 Strat. I don't think it's the tone that John's got on By the Way is a darker, more subdued tone, definitely, to Californication, where it's more distorted and prominent, and Stadium Arcadium, where it's brighter and more prominent. Definitely, I agree with the fact of the By the Way tone is a lot more warmer. It's darker, cleaner, warmer tone that kind of sits more in the background, but doesn't at the same time. It's strange. But I don't think that tone is anything to do with a reverb pedal or anything like that. I think it's just the way John's tone was at that time. You know, it was the way he was setting his amps, and that's just, you know, I don't think it's anything to do with pedals. I think it's just the way he had his amps EQ'd at that point in time. So, I don't think it's a case that you're hearing more of a Jubilee than the Major. You know, I don't really know what the deal is there, but I don't think it's that. I think it's just the fact that John ran those amps at that point in time, the Major and the Jubilee, just a smidgen cleaner than Californication. Still heavily kind of naturally overdriven with a bit of compression to make the pedals work, but I think it's just running it a lot less dark, less bright. It's just running it a lot darker. It's a lot more of a warmer tone than Californication or Stadium Arcadium or any of his other tones for that matter. Blood Sugar Sex Magic and Mother's Milk. So yeah, I don't think it's anything to do with a Holy Grail that makes his sound that way. I don't think it's really mixing and production, although mixing and production will have an effect on the overall tone of John's guitar during By the Way. I think it's just the fact that John set his amps up differently at that point in time. He was going in a different direction during By the Way as well. It wasn't all about big guitars, you know what I mean? It wasn't about. I mean, if you listen to the solo for Dosed, where he's doing that, you know, stuff like that. It's not big guitar tones. You know, they're quite subdued and minimalistic, and that's what John was going for. There's a lot more kind of chord kind of stuff that John was going for in that time. So it's a lot more warmer sound. But yeah, I don't think it's doing anything to do with the Holy Grail. I'd be surprised if a reverb you hear is the Holy Grail. I would hazard a guess that the reverb you hear 50, 60, 70% of the time would be added in the mixing stage more than anything. But again, I don't know. Sadly, I wasn't there. I wish I was. But anyway. But yeah, I don't think it's anything to do with the thing. I think it's just the way John set his amps up at that period in time, and the sound he was going for in himself at that point in time was that sound. It's a different sound to, like you say, Californication or Stadium Arcadium, but it is a nice tone. I know what you mean. Okay, so you also asked. I know that Dosed was originally a loop that John wrote on his his delay modeler 4, his Line 6 DL4. But I can't tell if the actual song was recorded with a loop or it was all different individual guitar parts. It was, yeah. Dosed, yeah, was originally... John came up with a loop originally. The whole guitar part, John came up with all the parts. But when it came down to record it, they were all recorded individually. It wasn't recorded to a loop. It just wouldn't have been... It wouldn't have been viable to do that, I don't think. So yeah, it's all recorded individually. I think there's something like 6 or 7 guitars on Dosed, because there's a guitar going, guitar doing that, and there's a guitar going, guitar doing that, one going, one doing that, and another one going. Shall we try and recreate it, everybody? Isn't it? Should we send it backwards? What does Dosed sound like backwards? Anyway, so yeah, Dosed was recorded separately. He originally came with all the parts like that, and I was actually using my DL4 there for that loop. But yeah, it was all recorded separately because it's just cleaner. You wouldn't be able to record a loop like that. It just wouldn't work. And also, the fact is too, the chords, that bit and this bit, are all neck pickup. And they're all bridge pickup. So it's different pickup combinations as well. So 2 are on the neck, 2 are on the bridge. Okay, so yeah, Dosed would have been all individually recorded. It wasn't just over DL4. John came up with the idea on the DL4, but when it came down to record it, it would have all been individual. Okay, so I hope that's the question. Like I say, yeah, the tone on By the Way, let me just recap quick, so I think I messed up a smidgen. But yeah, the tone for By the Way, I don't think has got anything to do with pedals or anything like that. I think it's just the way John had his amps set up at that time. It is a darker, warmer sound, definitely, to the other albums. But I think it's just the way his sound was at that time. And yeah, Dosed was all individually recorded when it came down to it. The initial idea was all a loop pedal, but after that, when it came time to record it, it would have all been individual. Okay, so moving on to question 4. How about such question? Moving on to question 4. Question 4 is, do you ever go to music shops to buy or test new equipment? Occasionally, but there's only one guitar shop around here that I go to, and it's called Gallagher's, and I'll take you there one day, everybody, in the new year, because it's a really awesome guitar shop, and the guy who owns it's really cool as well. So, and I do occasionally go there and, like, just try, but I normally get drawn to the second-hand cheap guitars. I don't know why, I just get drawn to them. But yeah, I do every now and again go to guitar shops to try out new gear, but it's not very often. Like I said, the only shop near me is Gallagher's. Other than that, there's Old Hat, but I'll never go there again, just for personal reasons. Other than that, yeah, there's not really any other guitar shops around here where I'd go to try out gear, because there's none around here. If I was going, like, somewhere else, like if I was going on holiday to a city or something like that, which would be very rare for me, because I don't really like cities. With one thing or another, I freak out in cities. Anyway, but yeah, if there was a guitar shop nearby to somewhere where I was going, or I was away, or doing a gig somewhere, and there was a guitar shop somewhere nearby, then yeah, I would definitely go in, and I'd be in there for most of the day, messing around and seeing what I could find. But yeah, so I do occasionally, but not as much as I used to. We used to have a guitar shop in town, my hometown where I live, called Musicality, and I used to go in there like pretty much every day, near enough, just to try something different, like different acoustic or different electric, different pedal, whatever, But unfortunately, that's gone now, and then sadly, the only other one we've got is Gallagher's and Old Hat. And like I say, Old Hat is a no-no for me. I'll probably never go back to Old Hat again. So So yeah, so I do occasionally, but not all the time. So, but I would like to start going to more guitar shops. So I want to start going to guitar shows as well. I used to go to guitar shows a fair bit, but in the new year I'm going to start going to guitar shows again. Okay, so yes, every now and again. So I hope that's such a question. Moving on to question 5 now. Okay, so question 5 has a few bits to it, everybody. So question 5 is, how do you build up the courage to play live? As far as I know, you're a fairly shy, introverted, self-conscious, like me, very self-conscious. But you started playing live early on. Didn't you ever experience some form of performance anxiety? Yes, I still do now. I still get dead nervous. I still get dead anxious. I can't hang around after gigs normally. I have to go. Especially if it's been like a bit of an emotional roller coaster kind of gig where my brains took me to X, Y, and Z place. I can't hang around and talk. I'm not very good at talking. I'm not very good out in general. I am very shy. I am very introverted. I am very kind of like, I'm just not very good around people. I get nervous really, badly around people. Gigging wise, anxiety, yeah, I do get nervous before gigging, but I love gigging too much. It's not gonna, I don't want it to get in the way. There has been times where I've struggled at gigs, and one thing or another, my brain won't release me from some stupid brain pattern it's got into. And yeah, I do get that. But the fact is, I just get on there. You just get on and you do it, and you just go for it. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it isn't fun. But I just got on there and did it. You know what I mean? The first ever gig I did after 6 months of playing guitar, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, 7 months, sorry, no, it was October, so 6 months. So yeah, my first gig after 6 months of playing guitar was, very nerve-wracking. I still get nervous now, and I think you need to get nerves before a gig, because I think it makes you play better, personally. I think that adrenaline and those nerves kick you in the right direction, and you just got to be careful not to take it in the wrong direction, because you can. It can mess with you if you're not careful. So you just got to kind of like think of it in a positive way, instead and not a negative way, so to say. But yeah, I mean, I do get nervous. Like I say, I'm a very shy person. I'm very introverted. I always have been. I'm not extrovert in anything I do, and I never have been. I've always been a very, very quiet person who kind of like, you'll find me sitting out in the corner most of the time, mainly with a guitar nowadays. And for the last 16 years, that's where I've been. But yeah, I mean, I still get nervous. I have real bad social anxiety. Where I'm not very good out and about. I'm just not good in social situations. I'm not good in crowds. I can normally deal with it, but sometimes it gets the better of me. So it's the same as with anybody who's got like an anxiety problem or mental health kind of problem. It rears its ugly head when you don't want it to. But yeah, I mean, you just get on and do it. I mean, that's the thing. Is like, I'm not gonna let it get in the way of something I love doing, which is playing guitar and making music for people. I'm not having that. I'm not having something that I'm in control of, even though I don't think I'm in control of it, rule what I can and cannot do. I'm not having that. So even if it wants to, I'm going to stand up on the stage, even if I'm an absolute wreck and a mess by the end of the gig, which has happened, where I've just been sweating horrifically. I'm uncomfortable, I'm nervous, I can't play properly, I can't get my head straight, but I will keep going, whether it likes it or it doesn't like it. I am not going to let it beat me down doing something I love to do. I'm not having it. I will not have that. So I get a bit kind of fierce with myself. I get really angry at myself, and I start to swear at myself and get angry, and the guitar catches it. I start beating the guitar up, which is kind of technically beating myself up, because I feel the guitar is an extension of me, and instead of me doing something like punching myself in the face, I can just lay into the guitar, and the guitar can take it better than my face can. So yeah, I mean, and I still get nervous now. I still get anxiety about kind of like this, that, and the other. But I'm not going to let it have that. My anxiety issue and my mental health issue has took so much from me. and has stopped me from doing so many things that about 2 years ago I came to a point where I'm not having this anymore. I'm not letting it do this anymore. You know, and it might sound a bit silly, but it did go to that point where I was like, no, you're not taking this from me. I'm gonna do what I need to do, and you can make me feel uncomfortable. You can make me do this. You can make me do that, but I'm not gonna give up just because. You know, so yeah, I still do get anxious. I still get nervous. I am very shy and a very introverted person, self-conscious, very self-conscious person. But you know, I love playing music. I love playing music live to people who want to listen, and nothing's going to get in the way of that. Nothing's going to get in the way of that. You said, because do you ever get any, experience any performance anxiety, considering that music is the most important thing to you? Like I say, yeah, I do, but like I say, it's just not going to get in the way. And you also said, yeah, at the end, I've answered it actually. I should have read the whole thing out, but silly Santa Dave didn't. You also said, was your desire to perform so intense that it outright squashed your fear like a bug? Basically, yeah. My overwhelming desire and love to play music live is a lot stronger than that fear. You know, I still get it, and I still get nervous, and I still don't like the feeling, and it can mess with me one way or another, but at the end of the day, it's not going to stop me. You know what I mean? I'm not going to have it getting in the way of that. That's what I love to do. That's what I want to do, and it's not getting in the way of that. So yeah. So yeah. You also asked too. You once mentioned that you wouldn't want to see Peter Green live these days. Did you ever explain why that is? I would love to know. Okay, yeah. I don't want to see Peter live because it's not really Peter anymore. You know, Peter stopped being Peter when he left. At the end of the end of the game, and all the stuff that Peter's been through. It's not really who he is anymore. You know what I mean? I don't want to offend anybody by saying that, you know. But in my opinion, he's not Peter Green. He's not. I remember watching some footage of a Splinter Group, and Peter doesn't really do anything. You know, his guitar's barely audible. The other guy's doing most of the solos. Peter's singing a little bit, but not really. If I wanted to see Peter Green, I would have to develop a time machine and go back to the late 60s and see him with the Blues Breakers and then Fleetwood Mac. You know what I mean? And that's the time I'd want to see Peter play. Because again, I'm not trying to be horrible, but Peter at this point in time, he's a figurehead. The Splinter Group had his name attached to it as a figurehead. You know what I mean? Because he didn't really do a great deal. Yeah, they were his songs. They did Albatross and Green Manalishi and so on and so forth. But it wasn't really Peter playing. You know, he wasn't really there. You know, with everything he's been through with with his mental health and stuff like that, it's not really Peter anymore. It's quite sad. So yeah, that's the reason why I wouldn't want to see him. But there was an option to go and see him a while back, and I turned it down because I just didn't want to do it. And it didn't matter anyway because he ended up cancelling due to ill health. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to see Peter at this point in time. I want to remember Peter how he was, not how he is. You know, because his playing is unreal. Back in the day, because he doesn't really play. I mean, he still plays, but he's not the Peter of old. You know what I mean? That he very well could have been still if things hadn't gone the way with drugs and his psychotic break that was drug induced psychosis. So, but yeah, it's hard to watch Peter. I watched some footage of him a couple of years ago, and it was hard to watch, knowing that what he used to be to what he is. You know, it's nothing against him or anything like that. I'm not having a go at it, this, that, and the other, but I do feel he's not. I don't know. It's just sad. It's just really sad, and it really upsets me when I think about it. Really, it's just really. It's hard. It's hard to think about. Peter's was one of those people that I didn't know about, and when I finally found out about Peter Green and started listening to him, his impact on me was so big that it's hard to talk about when you see him now. You know what I mean? I would love to meet him. You know what I mean? I would love to meet Peter Green. I would actually really love to meet Peter Green and get him to sign the headstock of my Lemon Drop, because I would love that. I would love that so much. But you know, it won't happen. That's, you know. But I would love to meet Peter Green. It'd be great. But he's not, playing wise. I don't really want to hear him play, because it's not Peter. It's not him. He's not that Peter Green we all know. You know what I mean? And I'm sure you can. Yeah, I'm sure people will disagree with me, and that's totally fine. This is only my opinion. You know what I mean? I can only speak from my opinion. But it's just hard to see. It's like watching. There's an interview with John Frusciante when he's absolutely out of his mind. It's the VPRO video, the VPRO interview with him, and he's got a croaky voice. He looks dead. He looks dead. It's as simple as that to me. He looks awful. And actually, the first time I saw that, I actually started to well up, because it was hard to see. I got into John Frusciante during the By the Way era, and then to go back and to absolutely love the man as much as I do, and for have his influence on me as massive as it is, because John's influence on me is huge, and then to go back in time and see that interview, it was a real kick in the teeth to me. It was like, whoa. It's a bit heavy to watch, and the fact that he's talking about, I don't care if I die, and I don't care about this, and this, that, and the other, and heroin's great, and, you know, it's like, it's a bit heavy. And it did really affect me, really quite badly, actually. I got really, really, really upset by the interview. I've never watched it again. I've seen that interview once, and I've never watched it. I will never, ever watch that interview again. It's just too upsetting for me to see, and I don't want to see stuff like that. And then the same goes for Peter. It's like, sorry about that, everyone. It's gone blow me nose, and I thought it'd be nicer to do it off camera instead of on camera. It's a bit gross. Saturday, blowing his nose. Anyway, yeah, where was I? But yeah, like I say, yeah, I would much prefer to see Peter back in the day, not these days. It's just not the Peter Green that I love, if that makes any sense. I mean, I still adore the man and everything he's done and all the music he's done, but it's not Peter Green of old. Like I say, if I wanted to see Peter Green live, I would have to go back to the 60s to see him, and the early 70s, because that's when Peter was in his prime. That was when Peter was Peter, as far as I'm concerned. So again, you know, like I say, this is only my opinion. It's not set in stone, and you know, I'm not saying it's kind of like, you know, the be all and end all. This is only my opinion, and I can only speak from my opinion. So yeah, I mean, be that for what it is, so to say, really. But there's people walking past the window looking in at me, going, "What the blooming hell is going on in there?" Anyway. But yeah, I mean, that's the reason why I didn't want to see Peter live, because it's not really him. It is, but it's not. I don't know. It's really, really hard to talk about. Really, really hard to explain. I'm having difficulty explaining it. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna get held up on that if I'm not careful. But it'll upset me. But yeah, I mean, that's the main reason. It's not Peter anymore. He is still Peter Green, and he'll always be Peter Green, and he's an absolute legend of guitar, and he's the best British blues player that we'll ever have. Full stop. He's the best British blues guitarist ever, as far as I'm concerned. Again, my opinion. I'm not saying my opinion's like, you know, the be all and end all, because it's definitely not. But in my opinion, Peter was the best British blues guitarist in the world. Like, you know, British blues guitarist. He was something else. He really was. And I'm still learning things about him now and there's still things about him that I can't figure out. And it's incredible, really. So I'm going to have to move on now, but I hope that's answered your question anyway. I'm going to move on to a final question of the day, really, question 6. But actually, tell me what. People of the Tube, I'm going to ask you a question. Have any of you seen Peter Green live? Like, you know, in the last couple of, you know, last how many years, you know, after Fleetwood Mac, after his disappearance, and when he came back during the Splinter Group, has anybody seen him live? And what was it like? And also, if you were given the option to go and see a Peter Green now, or go and see Peter Green back in the 60s and 70s, which one would you go and see? Just out of curiosity, you know, let me know in the comment section below. Okay, so moving on. Final question to everybody. Question 6. That was harder than it should have been. Okay, so final question today. Question 6 is: Would you ever consider transposing traditional Ukrainian folk music to the guitar? And do you think it would work maybe with a Western feel? I have actually. Me and my dad, because obviously my dad's dad was Ukrainian. My dad is a big exponent of that. My dad's actually transposed a lot of Ukrainian folk music to acoustic guitar. And my dad plays in open G, so he gets all the drone notes and stuff. And I've done a few, but sadly I can't remember any at this point in time because my brain's gone blank. But yeah, it does translate quite nicely to guitar. It's like when you watch Phil X do Greek music on the guitar, like bouzouki music on the guitar. It sounds amazing, and the same thing goes for Ukrainian music as well. But Ukrainian music sounds really nice if you've got like a drone, like a real kind of low drone. It's really cool because my dad tunes with open G. He actually tunes the low E down to something else. I don't actually know what he does to it. I think he's had it down to B before, so the low E is kind of tuned to B, and then it's open G from there. But my dad does that a lot because his dad was Ukrainian, and he grew up listening to that kind of thing. So definitely. But would it work with a Western feel? Not really. I mean, it kind of does, but not really. You want to keep it, tradition. It's traditional music for a reason. You want to retain the actual vibe and the feel of the actual traditional song. Whether you're translating it to a guitar or a piano or whatever. You want to keep that thing. It's just respecting its roots more than anything. It's like you can't play Delta blues with an extremely heavy shred guitar. Sorry about that, everyone got interrupted. Okay, so how about that about your question about Ukrainian folk music? I might do some one day in a video. I'd like to. It'd be really, really cool. Okay, I'd do it for my granddad. Okay, so next part of the question you asked is, where did good morning, good afternoon, and good evening come from? This is one of those weird things where I don't know, but I do know. If that probably doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But I kind of know where it came from, but I don't. When my YouTube channel started to get more and more subscribers, and I started to look at my analytics and noticed that people watching in Europe and in America and all over the world, it suddenly dawned on me that you won't necessarily be watching this video either in the morning or the afternoon or the evening. So sometimes you'll watch, some people watching a video in the evening, some people will be watching the video in the morning, and some people watching the video in the afternoon. So I thought, oh, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And I covered all bases, so to say. It's it's just one of those things. It was just one of those kind of like little brain patterns I had. Where I thought, well, like I said, some people are going to watch the videos in the morning, some in the afternoon, some in the evening. So I thought I'll cover all bases, and no matter where you are in the world, you get a hello. So that's where that came from. I do know. I'm saying I don't know, but I do know. I do, but I don't. I don't, but I do. But I do, but I don't. But I don't do dee da do ba do da ba 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 la boo ba 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 do boo 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 ba little da ba boo ba boo ba Jazz Dave. Rubbish. That's what that is. Anyway, that wasn't Tangent Boy, that was Jazz Tangent Boy. A lot scarier, trust me. Scatting Jazz Tangent Boy creature thing from the Black Lagoon of Death. I don't know. Moving along. That went a bit weird. Anyway. Christmas time, Dave. Be happy. Moving along. Yes, but yeah, that's where good morning, good afternoon, good evening came from. Basically, like, no matter where you are in the world, at some point, it's going to be evening or afternoon or the morning. So I thought, cover all bases, say hello to everybody, wherever they are. So that's where that came from. And the final part of your question was, what part of the day do you feel most inspired to play? Every hour of the day. I love just playing guitar. There's no real kind of set time that inspires me more, or I feel that I want to play guitar more. It's just a case of I love the guitar. I love the guitar more than anything. The guitar is... Words do not describe how special the guitar is to me, and never will describe it. So I don't get inspired to play guitar at a certain time. I just am inspired by the guitar. I can get inspired by guitar just by looking at it. And I do just like looking at guitars. You know, I like looking at guitars, I like playing guitars, I like making things up on guitars, I like playing around with effects and all this kind of thing. I just love everything to do with the guitar. So it's not about what time inspires me. It all does. Every day. Every day for 16 years has inspired me to play the guitar and to be as good as I can be on the instrument. You know, I'm not after trying to be anything other than I want to be on the guitar. I'm not in competition with anybody to kind of like, you know, be the best tapping or guitarist or the best shredding guitarist or the best, you know, songwriter or the best melody player or the best kind of like feel player or this, that and the other. I just love to play the guitar, and none of that comes into it. I just like playing guitar, and it just means the world to me to be able to play guitar, and I just love to feel it. You know what I mean? The feel that the guitar, the sound the guitar makes, the feel it conjures up is just like, it's so special that like that's all that matters. You know, because guitar shouldn't be a competition. You know, it shouldn't be a case of I'm better than you. So what? It doesn't mean anything. You know, yeah, you probably are. There's a million better guitarists out there than me, and that's fine. I don't care. You know what I mean? That doesn't matter. It should never matter to anybody playing the guitar that there's people better than you or there's people worse than you. You know, it doesn't matter. It's not a competition. This isn't a race to see who can be the best. You know, this isn't a competition like that. Music isn't a competition, full stop. You know, music is all about expression and how you express yourself, and that's more important. The feel you put into the instrument and the expression you put out of the get out of the instrument is more important than being able to go, hey, look at me, I can tap with all my fingers and my nose. You know, it's not important. That is not important. It's all about how you feel and like I said, just expression. The guitar is a very expressive instrument, and that's what it comes down to more than anything. So yeah, I don't. There's not a part of the day I feel more inspired to play. It's just every day, from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. If I don't have to sleep and I could play guitar all the time, if I didn't have to sleep and I didn't have to eat and I didn't have to drink, if I didn't have to do those things, I would play guitar constantly. You know, I don't like not having a guitar. The guitar makes me feel comfortable. It makes me feel like I belong. It's just one of those things. So yeah. There's not a point in time that during the day that makes me feel more inspired to play. It's just whenever. And oddly enough, I wasn't gonna do this red fibers all over my Jaguar. I thought I'd play the Jaguar today because it's kind of Christmassy. You know, you got white and red. You know, kind of Christmassy looking guitar. I'm saying that's quite Christmassy looking guitar. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But I wasn't actually going to do the intro jam on the Jag. I just wanted the Jag to lay down the backing track. The Jag had the right sound for the backing track I wanted, because I had it in drop B for the backing track for the intro. The whole Jag was in drop B, it's just the low E string down tuned to B. And then I was going to use another guitar to the I'm walking in the air bit over the top. But then the Jag just felt right. I didn't want to change. It just felt like it was right. So my feel changed and my preference changed, and I did the whole thing with the Jag, and I'm glad I did, because it felt better than it would have done if I'd changed guitar. So you always go with what you feel. Always go with what you feel. If you go with what you kind of feel, then kind of like you can still make mistakes, but it's better to go with what you feel than kind of like going against that more than anything. So but yeah, there's not a point in the day where I feel that like it's like my inspiring moment or anything like that. It's just that I just love guitar. I love music, and I love making music, and I love playing guitar and making music with it. So it's jibber jabbering on now, but yeah, hopefully some of that made sense, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But hopefully that made sense, and you understand what I'm waffling on about. But yeah, like I say, I just love the guitar, and the guitar is my best friend, and always will be my best friend. It just it just gives me purpose. You know what I mean? It sounds silly to say, but it really does. It makes me feel like I'm not. It makes me feel like I'm on the right track instead of the wrong track, and make me feel like I'm worth something when I don't feel like I'm worth anything. And you know, yeah, these things are the best thing in the world. Best thing in the world. Anyway, I'm getting all funny, but yeah. So yeah. Like I say, I don't know if this will be the last Q&A Wednesday, because I think it's Boxing Day. Is it Boxing Day on Wednesday? I forget. But I'll probably get like a live Q&A in. I'll get Joe to read out the questions, much in the same way as we did the live Q&A before. And yeah, I'll probably do that sometime after Christmas. Sometime next week, me and Joe will do that, and I think that'd be quite cool, because I don't really know what's going to happen on Christmas with family and everything. So I think I need to kind of keep it open, and I won't have time to do videos over that kind of period of time, sadly. So live streams it will be. So anyway, I hope I've answered your questions okay, everybody, in this Q&A. I hope it's been informative. I hope there's something you can kind of take away from it. If not, I do apologise. Phone batons are on standby, and I will see you again on Friday. So I won't say Merry Christmas yet. I've got a video to do on Friday, which I'm looking forward to. It's going to be an interesting one. I think it's going to be really difficult to film, but I'm not going to say what it is. It's another how to play, but I'm not going to tell you who it is, and I'm not going to tell you what song it is. But but I think I'm gonna have a hard time with it. Maybe, I don't know. We will see. We'll see. Okay, so yeah, have a great morning, afternoon, and good evening, everybody, wherever you are in the world. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this Q&A, and I will see you again on Friday. Yes, goodbye now. Thank you very much for watching.